So was was character based on you?
You know what? I need to ask Will Packer that, but that summer I would see people tweet me about it, and I finally saw the movie, and I was like, that character was definitely based on me.
Welcome to Come Back with Erica Cobb, a community of folks like yourselves who are getting ready and staying ready for their next chapter. Well, my guest today could actually be the host of this show. She is a comeback queen, okay? But she's too busy to do all that. You met her as Necole Bitchie back in 2008, the persona behind what was the fastest growing urban blog site in the nation. But in July of 2015, Necole dropped the Bitchie to focus on making sure people, especially young girls, find inspiration in her story. And in September of the same year, XO Necole, the leading women's lifestyle digital destination for women of color, was born. Here to tell her incredible comeback story is Necole Kane. Hey! I just appreciate your story so much because, as I mentioned before, you know, there is a chapter for just about everyone that they can relate to a part of your life. And one thing that really resonated with me was your start in radio. And we know that the radio can be a very turbulent industry, to say the least. So you put your feet into the radio game, and then you ended up back in your hometown living with your aunt. And I want you really to expound on that chapter of your life because you call it the biggest blessing in disguise. And please just share with us how you came to that conclusion.
Well, yeah, I did start in radio in Detroit as an intern, and I moved my way up to like producer of the afternoon drive as well as promotions coordinator. And then I decided to take my talents over to New York, but I'm in New York going on interview after interview. And when I say interview, I mean Diddy's assistant, Tyra Banks' assistant. I'm interviewing for every position out there. And I realized I've never gotten the opportunity through an interview because I just don't know how to sell myself. I don't know how to big myself up and talk about myself in a way where you're missing out if you don't hire me. And so after like just a trail of no's, I said I was going to never send out a resume ever again. And then I didn't have enough money to pay my rent, so I had to move back home to the Eastern Shore. Like, there you go. Okay, girl, you're not gonna sit on a resume. You're not gonna have a job.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to Maryland, where I'm from, and live with my aunt and figure out. That's how the website came about. The biggest blessing happened once I lived with my aunt, and I'm creating this new website, and I'm figuring out where I want to go in life.
And what year is this, just to put into context for people?
It was 2007 leading over to 2008.
So the internet wasn't quite the internet.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was MySpace. And my aunt actually came to me. She thought I was playing on a computer all the time. Like, I'm trying to grow Necole Bitchie now. This is a baby. And she's like, you have 30 days to figure yourself out. And for me, I was offended. I felt like she didn't want me there. And, just my ego got in the way. And I'm like, well, you don't have to give me 30 days. I'm going to leave this weekend. And I packed up my computer and all my stuff in my car. And I drove down to Atlanta, where I stayed on a friend's couch. But that was the biggest blessing because it's almost like she took the crutch from underneath of me. And now I had to go and really work hard to get that site off the ground. And so I took the last $500 that I had and hired a publicist in Atlanta. Like, you cannot find a publicist with $500. I'm going to just let you guys. Not in the year of 2021. But she was able to take me out on the scene and she knew all the events that were happening. So she would take me out on the scene. She'd introduce me to promoters. I would network with photographers and say, hey, can you send me pictures from this event? I'll put it on my website. And so I built my site from there, where I was just out on the scene all the time and then covering these events around Atlanta. And that helped like kind of get the site off the ground. And then I had a interview with Chili that went viral. And it just started going next level.
So XO Necole, as you mentioned, came months later after you pulled the plug on Necole Bitchie. And I'm curious because we kind of touched on this a little bit, but our experience in media is that people are really more tuned into controversy and drama than necessarily willing to celebrate wellness and excellence. So did you consider this when you were rebranding and with your new direction? And how did you prepare for this in terms of this being a challenge for you?
I will say, when I first ventured over into this, people were like, like they felt like Black women wouldn't read anything outside of celebrity gossip, and that's why you have all your different magazines, and they might do wellness and mental health or whatever, but it was buried under celebrity news every day. Right. Celebrities were all over the homepage. But I had faith that we are multi-dimensional people and we wanted more than just celebrity stuff. We wanted to level up in our own lives, get our own finances together, our mental health, our wellness. We want to learn more about our vagina and talk about our sex lives. And so I had a vision for that. I do feel like XO Necole has helped move the needle when it comes to Black women in the culture we're in now. Like, I can't go to the side of the internet I stay on, because there's certain neighborhoods you just don't ride up in. But the side of the internet I'm on, when I look in a Black woman's comment section, there's about 90% other, maybe even 95% other Black women bigging her up. And that's just not where we were when I launched XO Necole. That wasn't a thing. It was a lot of mean girls and cattiness. And so I'm very proud of that we did create a safe space for women of color, but also showed other sites that it's okay to get in this lane. Because if enough of us do it, then we're shifting the entire culture of the internet.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm very proud of the work we do, because it is about Black women supporting each other, uplifting each other, collaborating, partnering, all the things.
I love it. And it is appreciated, because I think when we were talking earlier and you mentioned when now you'll see a prominent Black woman on social media and 95% of the comments will be other Black women cheering her on. And, just having that also, and let's be honest, like, that wasn't considered cool before. There was this divisiveness and the idea that there wasn't enough for everyone. So
there can only be one.
Right.
All the things. If someone got an opportunity, that took the opportunity from you, like all the things. Yeah.
Right. And I think that was the narrative by design. And I'm glad that we have platforms like yours to show that design or that narrative has always been a fallacy, especially because of people like you who have created their own lanes, making it possible for other people to create their own lanes. So there's a new lane that you've created with My Happy Flow. So
okay,
how
transitions?
Girl, I live for a transition and a segue. So how was this idea first conceived?
My Happy Flow. Oh, it's very personal for me because my mom passed from breast cancer. And so, I was living a very toxic, exhausting lifestyle in media. You're flying all over the place. You might eat once a day, fast food. You're not getting a lot of nutrients. Very stress-filled lifestyle. But when I turned 35 and I was transitioning out of Necole Bitchie, I started really focusing on how can I prevent myself from getting breast cancer. And so I started doing a lot of research. I've gotten into hormone health and holistic nutrition. And I read a book that changed my life called You Are What You Eat. And so now after that book, I had the belief any disease can be cured through whole foods and vitamins.
One more question I wasn't planning on asking you before you go. So was Queen Latifah's Girls Trip character based on you?
You know what? I need to ask Will Packer that, but that summer I would see people tweet me about it, and I finally saw the movie, and I was like, that character was definitely based on me. When she put up that letter on the website and like, I can't do the gossip anymore, I was like,
I got the scoop.
Yes.
Yes.
I was just like, like, wow, that was crazy just seeing it played back like that.
Necole Kane, I have to tell you, like, I have so many just beautiful, special people on this podcast, and it is my greatest honor to have this platform. But I really waited to reach out to you because I wanted to really be ready to have this conversation with you. I really did, because as I mentioned before we started, and I could talk to you forever, so I don't want you to be like, girl, I gotta go. I'm gonna wrap this up.
You're good. Yeah. We got time.
Well, I'm gonna wrap this up, but there were so many pieces and parts of your story that resonated with me so much, both during my setback season, during my comeback season, and even where I am right now. So I know some of my comeback community, I've been talking about, I'm in a restart. I'm in a comeback season of my life. And this was just such great motivation and insight. So I thank you so much for spending a little time with me on Comeback with Erica Cobb. Tell us where we can follow you and all of your brands, girl.
Well, you can follow my personal brand, Hello Necole, at HelloNecole, across all platforms. And then, of course, My Happy Flow and XO Necole.
Comeback community, please find and follow Necole Kane. Of course, I will have the full podcast on my online home, comeback.tv, where you will get all the information on Necole, including her brands, her websites, her ads, her everything. So check that out. And thank you for watching Comeback with Erica Cobb.